So please welcome my next talk. We have Marco GARZOLA from Tecniplast. We'll discuss end-to-end MLOp system for preclinical medical research. Welcome, Marco.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here. So today I'm going to share my experience and my company approach to this kind of technology. That's how we call tinyML. And in the first part, I want to present also the market where my company is working on, because it's something that for many of you can be pretty unusual. So with Tecniplast is a leader in the lab animal industry, and it's providing equipments for the Vivaria. The main business right now is related to the plastic cage for the big pharma company and all this stuff in the preclinical medical research. And we are, of course, an Italian company located in the north of Italy. I give you some numbers because many of you, as I said, it's a strange market. In a standard facility, we can have animals in terms of cage, then 10K or 20, it's a range, 10K or 20K cages each facility. We have been selling as a company more than 300K cages, standard cages per year. So it's a huge amount of cages, and just only 10% right now are digital. So there is a huge opportunity to digitalize millions of currently available cages on the field. But of course, we do need to be scalable and affordable as well. Which are our customers? Basically, we work with research institution, university, pharma company, and there are two types of different customers. One is the facility manager, where you can think about that like a motel that rent cages to the researcher. And of course, in the facility manager, we have high volume, while in the researcher, the volume is very, very low. What are the targets we want to achieve? First of all, we want to optimize the facility management, improve the quality of research in the world, and of course, enhance the animal welfare. That's the big one. So we develop and validate several features right now, metrics, algorithms, and workflow to reach these targets. There are, of course, many issues in this kind of market because it's very conservative, as I said. Also, today, the 80% is not digital, as that's a big problem. It's a market paper addicted. I mean, sometimes people write down the stuff close to the cage in order to remember the experiment. It's something that must be digitalized. And the scientific routine of the researchers sometimes doesn't allow to change the experimental stuff, and the customer are not willing, at least nowadays, to spend more on digital equipment than the standard one. And due to the fact that we had a lot of devices in a facility, we need to use a low power consumption for all these devices. And of course, we must have a low cost per each device. So this is basically a roadmap where we were yesterday and where we want to go tomorrow. Basically, we were a plastic and steel company, but right now we do have a digital solution right now for the market, and as well we have been introducing a new sensor based on tinyML. And for sure, we want in the future to add more and more sensors based on this technology, because we think that is a right choice, at least for our market. So to me, as a digital innovation manager, the goal is to scout and integrate new technology in order to to go to the massive production, but that's what my company wants. Just a brief introduction to what we have right now. This is not a tinyML-based solution, but it's a starting point. Basically, it is a plate with a capacitive sensor in order to detect the mice movement inside the cage. You can do other stuff as well. It's a home cage monitoring system, and 24/7. But from this solution 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we decided to add more sensor over that. And the first evolution was to introduce a camera-based system that was basically a low-resolution camera without external cam, and in order to be cost-effective. And we use a STM32H7 MCU in order to do that. The resolution is 320 x 240 at a maximum 4 FPS. And at the time, we didn't have any information about tinyML. We wanted, at the beginning at least, to push all the data to the cloud in order to be processed in a second step. And that's basically the system. We have a rack where there are some cages inside the rack. Every room has much rack inside that, and in a facility, as I told you, we can have up to 10K. And what's the point? If we start to push all the data, even as the resolution is very low to the cloud, we can have an issue. So is the cloud the solution for this market? I don't think so. Because the cloud is the way to go, but not for all this kind of data. So we also have privacy issue in our market. So we needed to find a way to reduce the amount of data we produce by the sensor. And also because our customers, as I said, are not willing to pay cloud storage cost additional. And so we needed to find a solution to be scalable and affordable. 2 years ago, I had a meeting in ST Microelectronics in Italy, and I found out that someone was working on the stuff on tinyML. That person was Danilo Pau. And after a while, we started a collaboration with ST Microelectronics. And let me say, it was really cool because in just a week, we integrated two to three neural networks in our product. We started with, you can see here, just the first one that was related to the amount of food in the cage, and also another one to recognize if there was a bottle or the cage was inserted into the rack. So we started a collaboration with ST. We were in charge of course, the firmware production, the software production, the machine learning problem, data set acquisition, and something like that. But we had no idea at the time about tinyML. So ST helped us with their tool, Cube AI, and something like that, to train and validation all this stuff. And of course, we also did some publication about that with Danilo and his team. Right now, it's not a product yet. It's a POC, but we have been running experiments with on the field at let me say 500 boards, and we have of course the training process of the neural network. It's not a unit answer, but it's a continuous operation, and we do have also metadata. That coming from other sensor, not the camera, that can help us in order to do a semi-automatic data labeling in the cloud, and that's pretty cool. The first step was to add a camera on the back of the cage, but we discovered that sometimes we may have occlusion in the point of view. So the idea was to add another one on the side with the same technology, and we integrated another neural network. One was for the bottle presence, that is very close. You can see from there. It's very close to the camera. Oops, this one. And also for the cage detection. These kind of network are basically something related to the environment of the cage. but the researchers are not interested in this kind of stuff. The researchers are interested in the behavior of the animal. And so the next level we have been testing right now is another neural network related to when the mouse is approaching to the nozzle of the bottle in order to understand how much time the animal is spending close to the nozzle. And that from a biological point of view, that's very interesting for the researcher. And as a matter of fact, with this kind of network, it's a particular interesting case study because all the data pushed into the cloud was stopped. We have no streaming directly from the board, but the STM32 recognized this kind of event. It sent to the cloud the trigger, and the cloud take a snapshot of the in the cage. As you can see here, the mouse is drinking. And the researcher can do some estimate from this point of view because having the time of the drinking, it can recognize if, of course, there is wellness into the cage or not. It's very important to have this kind of behavioral stuff from this kind of network. So the future development. The final goal is to have, as I said, more and more behavioral feature, posture, feeding, climbing of the animal, because they are very interesting for the researcher. And we want to test this kind of network and much more with also another type of electronics with AI acceleration that can lead to improvement of what we have right now. And we have been working also, I cannot do some spoiler, but with other sensors, with tinyML type of technology. And that's the way to go, at least for us. I know it's a very strange market, but we have numbers, and we think that we can use this kind of technology in our product. Last but not least, I would like to thank you, all the team from ST and my company that have been working in this project. Thank you so much. I'm here for any question.